Okay, I'm going to introduce you, Murielle. Murielle Grange is
Yes.
Grange
Grange.
is a drilling engineer. She graduated from the Grenoble University, and she has worked for more than 25 years on geothermal drilling and wells that are used for district heating or electricity production. She has been working for Storengy for 4 years on the development of projects in the framework of the decarbonization, and she's currently project director on the HYPSTER project, a pilot experiment of hydrogen storage in salt caverns. And Murielle, you're going to tell us all about HYPSTER, I believe.
Yes, and Benoit, the previous speaker, is part of HYPSTER consortium. So HYPSTER is hydrogen pilot storage for
Murielle, I'm sorry to interrupt, but can you press present on the camera icon so that it's full screen?
It's okay?
Now fantastic, yeah, but it's slide number 3, what we see.
Yes, it's okay.
Yeah,
you don't go about the two first one. So, HYPSTER is hydrogen pilot storage for large ecosystem replication. HYPSTER is a project developed by a consortium of 9 partners, and Benoit is part of this consortium, coming from 4 European countries, and with the help of the Clean Hydrogen Partnership. It started in January 2021. It's located in Étré. Étré is 100 kilometers north of Lyon or 60 kilometers west of Geneva, just to have a global view. We will, there's 2 parts in the project. So we will install hydrogen production with an electrolyzer of 1 megawatt. And we will store the hydrogen in the famous salt cavern HZ53, and the end of the pilot phase is between end of 2023, I would say mid 2024. In the first step, we will store 3 tons of hydrogen during the pilot phase, but the whole usable capacity of this cavern is 40 tons. It means, in fact, 80 tons with a cushion gas. The purpose of HYPSTER is to test at an industrial scale the compliance of a salt cavern with hydrogen storage produced with renewable energy. HYPSTER is a quite wide project. In fact, I will focus on the tightness test, cycling test, and really what we do on the field. But in fact, HYPSTER, it's really wide. We have a work package which determine what is really renewable energy. We have the work package where Benoit is involved with all the modeling that has to be performed in order to be able to interpret what the data that we will collect. We have a work package for the construction, work package for a study that will allow to determine the cost of hydrogen storage in salt cavern. We have a work package that will allow to determine which bacteria and if sulfate are in this salt cavern and what will be the post-treatment needed when we will withdraw the hydrogen. We have a work package for the communication. So in fact, HYPSTER, we will focus on the construction phase and the tests that will be carried out, but in fact, the project is very wide. So 2 parts. Hydrogen production, so it means a unit which will allow to purify the water, an electrolyzer of 1 megawatt, all electrical equipment that will be able that will allow to feed all this equipment, and a compressor which will go up to 350 bars to fill the tube trailer. Because at the first stage, in fact, the transport between the 2 platforms, which are the distance around half a kilometer, will be done with a tube trailer. On the hydrogen storage part, so we have the HZ53 salt cavern. So we will proceed in order to avoid any accident or things like that. We will proceed in 3 steps. First, tightness test with nitrogen. If everything is okay, tightness test with hydrogen. If everything is okay, we will carry out the cycling test. At this stage today, we are carrying out the test with nitrogen at the depth of 750 meters, and everything is okay. So, the site is close to Storengy, natural gas storage in Étré, and you have the H2 platform, and you have the EZ53 platform. And there you have a post from GRT gas. So it's in the countryside, but you have plenty of installation, and the risk of blowout has been strongly studied during HYPSTER, which is a part of the project too, because between the natural gas storage and GRT gas, it's quite challenging. The schedule, 2021 was engineering for both platforms, 2022 building and commissioning. We are slightly late. We are still in the construction phase. We have plenty of issue with the electrical component due to the current economical context worldwide. And we will start the tightness test and pressure test, I will say early. It's already started, but the main part will be done between October and the end of the year. So EZ53, this famous cavern. So it's a very small cavern. The global volume is a little bit less, like 8,000 cubic meter. The depth of this cavern, the bottom part is 968 meter. This cavern has never been used for gas storage. It has been leased 50 years ago, and we carry out a new measurement of the volume of the cavern, and the volume change in 20 cubic meters in 50 years. So this cavern is quite stable, I will say. The sensitive part of this cavern for the tightness test is the shoe of the casing, and the shoe of the casing. So in Etre, in this place, in fact, you have 20 salt cavern, bigger, not at the same level, up to 1,400 meters, which are used for natural gas storage, and it's the volume of this cavern is between 300,000 cubic meter and 500,000 cubic meter. Pourquoi ça marche pas? Do you hear me? Yes. Okay. So I think it doesn't work. I see. Okay. So we will carry out tightness test. This is the first part of in fact, the test will be done in two parts. The first part with nitrogen. Donc we will have 4 different interfaces. The 2 first interfaces are to confirm that the completion equipment that we installed in April are tight. And then when we will be below the shoe, which is, I will say, the most challenging part of the well, we will carry out a MIT. This MIT, in fact, allows to confirm that the completion, the backer, the shoe, and the salt is tight. So we will do it. So we have 2 different options. The first one is nitrogen or oil. We decided to do it with nitrogen. We will apply a gradient of 1.8. How we will operate, we will inject fluid, so nitrogen. Then we will inject brine until the pressure we decided to get. Then we will maintain the pressure by injection of brine if necessary. And when we get this solution, we will run in a whole tool that will allow to determine where is this interface. First measure at the beginning, second measure 48 hours later. And if everything is okay, we define criterion. So it means that if we don't have any change, a change less than 250 liters per day, this value is connected to everything that has been explained by Benoit in the first presentation. We will confirm, we will consider that everything is tight. So with nitrogen, so first interface 400 meters, second interface 820 meters, we are at this stage. So it means that all the completion equipment are tight with nitrogen. And then we will re-inject nitrogen in the hole and run this equipment. It will be done, I will say, in September, early October, something like that. And then the last test, 920 meters, will allow to confirm that the salt is type 2. If everything is fine with nitrogen, we will redo exactly the same with hydrogen, more or less the same depth. And then, if everything is okay, it will mean that for storages, there's no big risk, no risk of blowouts, that all our equipment are compliant with hydrogen, and then we will carry out the cycling test. So the cycling test, we will be in this configuration, so we will have hydrogen outside of the completion and in the chimney. And then we will carry out a pressure variation by injection or withdrawal of brine. We will have 100 cycles of pressure variation, very small one and very big one. It represents, in fact, what will be production of hydrogen with renewable energy. It doesn't work. See. So in order to carry out this pressure variation, in fact, we have installed plenty of equipment. So we will fill the salt cavern with tube trailers. So we install a specific device. Then in order to increase or decrease the pressure, in fact, we have a brine pump, which will allow to work between 60 and 150 bars. And we will have some change of temperature and so on. So it means that we have a risk of a crystallization of the salt. So in order to avoid it, in fact, we have water, which will allow to dilute the brine and avoid this crystallization. And for safety reason, we have a device that allows to vent the hydrogen if we have any problem. And at the end of the pilot, in fact, we will collect the hydrogen and carry out some analysis. I will say more to show the change in the composition of hydrogen during this storage in the salt cavern, and to show if the bacteria that already exist in the brine have had an action and produce things like H2S. So this is a program for the cycling test. So you have a very small cycling test. It means like a PV, for example, and then more important, something which is comparable to what can be done with natural gas storage. Shorter, but in a global view. And then at the end, we will vent, which will allow to decrease strongly the pressure in the salt cavern. All the data will be collected during this test, and the work package 2, which is in charge of the modeling, will work on it and show and prove, I hope, the compliance of this salt cavern and other salt cavern for hydrogen storage produced with renewable energy. So where we are, many things has already been done. So we installed the completion equipment in the well in April. We installed the platform, the wellhead. You can show the wellhead on the second photo. We carry out plenty of electrical work, and you have the MSP cubicles that allow to pilot all the valve and all the safety device in the well. You have a new electric substation. You have the new transformer, the brine skid that will allow to change the pressure and to carry out the cycling test. On the H2 platform, you have seen the compressor, the buffer tank. We received the electrolyzer 2 weeks ago. So I think things are moving, and for the project, it's a good news. That's all for me. Do you have questions?
Great great to see this project, and yeah, a lot of experiences we will have. I'm looking at the room if there's any questions from the audience.
From the online audience, they are asking if they did any compositional analysis for the brine that was produced from this cavern, or any mineral analysis of the sump of that cavern.
Yes, an analysis has been carried out. 2 samples of brine has been collected. The first one in October last year, and a new one in April. And so they are working on, they try to develop the bacteria in order to have a global view of what exists in the brine. And for the chemistry, yes, analysis has been done. I don't have the results, but yes, I know that for this sample analysis of the brine, a detailed analysis has been done.
Murielle, I know that you did also microbiology analysis as well for the brine. Are the
Yes,
results ready for publication, or?
No, not yet, because it takes months. For the first sample, we have an issue because the speed of when we pull out, in fact, the sample, it was too quick, and in fact, it takes more than 5 months to start to have a development of the bacteria.
It's like doctor appointment, a serious microbe.
Yes, something like that. But for the new one, that was
Nicole is here. She can do that maybe quickly. So we have some doctors here.
So it's okay. We will have it. We will have it in any case, but it takes months, in fact.
Of course. Thanks a lot for this. Yeah, please.
Anita from RAK Austria. Details about your electrolyzer, maybe what type is it, from where? Thank you.
It's a PEM electrolyzer, and the supplier is Elogen.
I have a short question myself, Murielle. Now you're doing this on a smaller scale, but what would be the biggest challenge to upscale this to commercial scale, let's say? What do you think would be the biggest challenge?
Alors, I will say which part? H2 production of or H2 storage in the salt cavern?
Anything in the project, let's say, I think it's production or storage. Where would be the biggest challenge in the system?
Alors, for the storage in the salt cavern, in fact, I think now we have all the equipment, and everything has been with the completion equipment and with the wellhead, I am really comfortable, because the tests that has been done by the supplier are really huge. And so I will say all this equipment can be installed in a normal cavern without any problem. For the hydrogen production, it's really difficult. Even with a 1 megawatt electrolyzer, it's not so easy for the supplier with a PEM technology. So I think it's more challenging. But the biggest challenge in these things is to find people that want so huge quantity of hydrogen, in fact.
Thank you. One last question, I think, and then we have to go.
Ruben from Repsol. So the first cycling is going to be performed with the 3 tons, or is with the 44 tons?
No, 3 tons. 3 tons.
And when would be the 44 tons performed?
I don't know. It will take time, in fact, because on the permitting site, in fact, we have a derogation of the PPRT, which is risk prevention of it's very French things, which allow to obtain the permitting in less than 1 year. To be able to inject 44 tons in the salt cavern, it will take at least 3 years to get the approval of the French government.
And would be the same cycling, 105
Yes,
days?
yes, because it has been done according to the site of ETRE. So I think, yes, it will be very close.
Thanks a lot, Murielle. That's all.
Let's thanks again, and again applause.
Thank you.